All right, let's talk about the SAT. What we're going to do is take the massive SAT for Dummies guide and boil it down into a lean, mean field manual. The goal here is simple: to help you understand, navigate, and conquer one of the biggest tests of your academic life. So, you ready to get started? Let's dive in. Does this sound familiar? That feeling? Your shoulders tense up, your head kind of wants to disappear into your shirt? Trust me, you are not alone. Our goal today is to turn that anxiety into actual confidence. We're going to get you out of that shell. The first rule of any big challenge is to know your adversary. And the SAT isn't some big, scary, unknowable monster. It's just a test. It has rules, it has patterns. Think of it like a new video game level. Once you learn the map and the enemy movements, you can navigate it like a total pro. So, what is this thing, really? At its heart, the SAT isn't trying to trick you with some obscure knowledge you've never heard of. Nope. It's just measuring skills in 3 basic areas: critical reading, math, and writing. These are all things you've been working on for years. Okay, a quick but super important question. SAT or ACT? Here's the good news. Most colleges take either one, and they're pretty much the same level of difficulty. The biggest difference is that science section on the ACT. So the advice from the guide is actually pretty simple. Just pick one and pour all your energy into it. So let's break this thing down, right? Here's the basic anatomy. It's split into 3 main sections: critical reading, math, and writing. And just knowing this simple breakdown is a huge first step because it means one very important thing: no surprises on test day.
All right, first up, a little recon mission into the critical reading section. And listen, success here is not about being the fastest reader in the world. It's about reading smarter. It's about knowing what they're going to ask you and already having a plan to figure it out.
So what are they going to throw at you? Well, it's basically 3 things. You've got sentence completions, which are really just fill-in-the-blank vocab questions. Then you have passages, sometimes just 1, but sometimes you'll get 2 and have to compare them.
Okay, so the test loves this word, inference. What in the world does that even mean? The guide gives a perfect, hilarious example. Imagine you get home and your parent is just staring silently at a huge phone bill. You can infer that your 2-hour call to the bowling team in Helsinki probably wasn't a good idea. See, it's just a conclusion based on the evidence.
All right, now here's a little secret weapon for you: clue words. Think of these as tiny road signs inside the sentences. A word like therefore tells you cause and effect is happening. However, signals a change in direction. If you spot these, you basically have a roadmap to the sentence's meaning.
Okay, let's pivot and talk math. And before you panic, no, this is not about some mind-bending advanced calculus. The SAT math section is really all about having a super solid grip on the fundamentals you've been learning all through high school.
And this chart? This tells you exactly where to put your energy. The entire math section is built on 3 pillars: numbers and operations, algebra and functions, and geometry. If you really focus on these, you're going to be in great shape.
And speaking of fundamentals, please don't forget your old pal PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. This simple order of operations is your #1 defense against those small, silly mistakes that can cost you big points.
The SAT just loves these terms that sound way scarier than they actually are. Case in point, direct variation. It's so simple. It just means when one thing goes up, the other goes up with it. Like, the more hours you work, the more money you make. That's it. Understanding the idea is way more important than memorizing some formula.
All right, on to our final mission: acing the writing section. Now, this is kind of a 2-part battle. First, you've got the essay, which is all about pressure. And then you've got a bunch of multiple choice questions that are designed to catch you on common grammar mistakes.
25 minutes. That is all you get for the essay. Now, that is not enough time to write the next great novel, for sure, but it is plenty of time to write a clear, organized argument. If, and this is a huge if, you go in with a game plan. And this is that plan. The #1 rule: do not just pick up your pencil and start writing. Seriously, take 2, maybe 3 minutes to just brainstorm an outline. Then you write for about 20 minutes. And this part is absolutely non-negotiable. You have to leave 2 or 3 minutes at the end to revise. This structure is everything. Okay, for the multiple choice part, you gotta know that the SAT loves to lay these little grammar traps for you. Here are some of their greatest hits. They will absolutely test you on between you and me. They love pronoun agreement, and they will for sure try to trick you with words like effect versus effect. Knowing the traps is half the battle.
Okay, we've scouted the enemy, we know the terrain, now it's time to pack your survival kit. This is all about the practical stuff.
the real-world strategy for test day itself.
And the guide is really clear about this. There's no single right way to prep. Maybe you're an early bird and you started months ago. Or maybe you're in what the book calls panic control mode. It doesn't matter. The key isn't how much time you have, it's what you do with that time.
Ah, yes, the age-old question. You're staring at a problem, the clock is ticking away, and you have absolutely no clue. So, do you just bubble something in, or do you leave it blank? What do you do?
Well, the answer is actually pretty straightforward. You make an educated guess. Here's the rule. If you can confidently eliminate even one wrong answer, the odds are now in your favor, and you should guess. If you can eliminate 2, you definitely guess. Oh, and for those math grid-ins, there's no penalty, so you always put something down.
And finally, please, let's not let all this hard work get derailed by a simple mistake, okay? Here is your non-negotiable checklist. The night before, get your admission ticket, your photo ID, a bunch of number 2 pencils, and your calculator all packed and ready to go. No excuses.
And that brings us right back to the beginning. Remember that, Turtle? This is the total opposite of that. Probably the most important advice is this. On test day, just take a deep breath, lower your shoulders. You've done the work, you know what to expect. Just stay calm, stay loose, and show them what you got.
So, there you have it. You've got the field guide. You know the terrain, you know the patterns, and you know the strategies. The only question left is the one right here on the screen. Now that you know the adversary, what's your first move?